If it feels like home, run. Most people believe love is about comfort, safety, and finding someone who feels familiar. But Freud would say, familiarity is often the mask of old pain. What feels like home is sometimes just a haunted house built from childhood wounds. Have you ever wondered why you're drawn to the same kind of person again and again? Why you replay the same heartbreak, the same betrayals, the same disappointments, as if the universe is conspiring to trap you? Freud didn't call it fate, he called it repetition compulsion. He wrote, "We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love." Repetition compulsion is the unconscious urge to recreate the emotional landscape of your earliest relationships, even if that landscape is filled with pain. It's your psyche's attempt to make sense of old wounds by repeating them, hoping for a different outcome. But the more you chase resolution, the more you just rehearse the trauma. Freud saw that the child who grew up starved for affection becomes the adult who chases emotionally unavailable partners. The child who walked on eggshells around rage or chaos finds drama and volatility strangely magnetic in adulthood. The comfort is not in the person, but in the pattern. We call it chemistry. We say we have a type. But too often, that type is just a familiar wound in disguise. This is the darkness of repetition compulsion. Your unconscious isn't looking for love. It's looking for the lost parent, the unfinished story, the pain you never learned to heal. So you repeat, unconsciously, the dynamics that hurt you most, pulled toward anyone who fits the emotional blueprint burned into your nervous system. Attachment trauma is the ghost that haunts your adult choices. It's the voice that says, "This feels right," when it's just what you survived as a child. Think about the relationships that felt most intense, most meant to be. Were they really love or just a familiar ache? Did you feel alive or did you feel needed, anxious, on edge, desperate to earn affection that always seemed just out of reach? Freud saw that we are drawn to what we know, not what we need. If you grew up with inconsistency, you may find chaos magnetic. If you learned to earn love, you'll keep chasing it from those who never give it freely. Why do we do this? Because the psyche is wired to repeat what it hasn't resolved. You recreate the original wound, hoping you'll finally get it right. Be loved, chosen, seen. But every replay only deepens the scar. Freud believed that the past is never dead. He wrote, "The mind is like an iceberg. It floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water." Most of what drives us is hidden beneath the surface. This is why self-awareness isn't enough. You can know the pattern, swear to break it, but still fall back into the arms of a new version of the same pain. The repetition is unconscious. It's the shadow pulling the strings. You don't love them. You recognize them. If you want to know your childhood wounds, look at the people you keep letting in. Who makes you feel most alive? Who triggers your old anxieties, your need to fix, your urge to chase, your fear of abandonment? These aren't random lovers. They are messengers from your past. Freud called this transference, projecting old feelings, fears, and longings onto new people. We think we're relating to them, but really, we're relating to ghosts. He wrote, "No one who, like me, conjures up the most evil of those half-tamed demons that inhabit the human beast will be altogether able to rest again. To heal, you must confront the demon, not invite it in." Healing is not about finding a person who fits the blueprint. It's about rejecting the familiar, even when it feels safe. It means turning away from the spark if it's rooted in chaos, unpredictability, or pain. Freud believed the compulsion to repeat was the psyche's cry for closure. But closure never comes from replaying the wound. It comes from grieving what you lost, feeling what you denied, and refusing to build your life from pain. So how do you break free? Start by noticing who you are drawn to and why. When someone feels like home, ask if that home was loving or just what you survived. Pause before you pursue. Ask yourself, am I being pulled by my wounds or by my wisdom? Do I want healing or do I want the pain I know? Healing means choosing what's unfamiliar. It's the courage to walk away from the instant chemistry that feels urgent, magnetic, and unsafe. It's learning to be bored with drama, to prefer peace over adrenaline, to build love on something new. Mutuality, respect, real safety. This is why healing hurts. Because rejecting the familiar feels like dying. Your nervous system cries out for what it knows. But every time you say no to the old pain, you say yes to a new self. Freud warned, most people do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. Freedom from repetition is a responsibility. You must protect yourself from your own reflexes, your old programming, your unconscious desire to turn the past into your future. When you finally learn to say no to what feels like home, you create a space for a new story. One that isn't haunted by old pain. One that's chosen, not repeated. If you're ready to break the cycle and stop building your life on your own wounds, subscribe for more on Freud, dark psychology, and how to heal for real. Share your story in the comments. What pattern do you keep repeating? Let's build something unfamiliar. Let's choose freedom.